What's up, guys? Gold Game here, back with another tank review. So before the start of the video, as I always say, if you want to send me any replays, please feel free to hit the link down in the description. That'll take you to my Discord server, where you can meet all the lovely people that are already on there, as well as my Discord information that you can use to DM me replays if that's what you want to do. I also got an email down there that you can email me replays. And, yeah, of course with a short description, like how much damage it is, what tank it is, and what map, and we'll see if we get them onto the channel. So, as you could probably guess by now, we're going to be doing a review on the Leopard 1. Probably my second favorite tier 10 medium tank. I mean, I've played most of them, it's just, I think this one stands out for some reasons. So, before we get into compare tanks, I do want to go and run through my loadouts and everything. So, with this, I, of course, am running the calibrated shells. This thing just recently got a buff. So, it does 6.5, or like 6 point something seconds. It has a 6 point something, what is it, actually? I don't want 6 point something. 6.1 second reload, or 6.2, which makes it the highest DPM medium tank in the game. The T62A and Object 140 used to be the highest. The Leopard 1 has just now taken over. So I go ahead and run calibrated shells just for the extra penetration. In reality, you don't need it. You could probably run the gun rammer, but again, this is of course player preference. Of course, I do run the improved modules, as there is no armor on this thing. Improved optics, I got enhanced gun lane drive for somewhat better accuracy, and then of course the refined gun. As you can notice, this thing does have one of the best, or it is actually the most accurate tank in the game, of having a dispersion of .244. The grill also has the same dispersion. So both those things are the most accurate guns in the game. You literally just have to aim in their direction and you're going to hit them. No missing whatsoever. So, go ahead and run over to ammunition. As you can see, I run a fairly stable. You could probably go with less HE and more AP, but of course that is player preference. Provisions, I do run the double chocolates and the improved fuel. Then we go over to here. I have both repair kits and then the first aid kits. Because you are going to be HE'd by a lot of tanks, so I don't run the adrenaline, because this thing has a really good reload altogether, and you're not going to be up front brawling. You want to be playing this from the back unless you are able to make a good push, and we'll see in a couple of replays. And yeah. Oh, that reminds me. A couple days ago, I did a How to Blitz video, and I had a Leopard 1 replay in there. If you didn't check that out, I would go look that up, because that's another good illustration of how to play this tank. I will link it in the description for you if you want to go and check that out. And let's get on to compare tanks. Here is compare tanks. So you can see I've got the Leopard 1 up against the Progetto, the AMX 30B. The only reason why I have the AMX 30B is because it shares a lot of similarities with the Leopard 1. Not too many, but that's why I added it. I'm also got the 140, the M48 pattern, and the STB. I didn't put the T62A in here because I didn't feel like it. So, if you want me to, of course, I will switch it out. Actually, forget I said that. I'll switch it out. I'll switch it out real quick. Give me a sec. Alrighty, there we go. So let's go ahead and look at the firepower department. As we go to see across the board, as I said, this thing does have the best DPM throughout the game at 3,667. Of course, the next runner up is the T62A at 3,591. So you see, there's about roughly 70-80 damage difference, give or take. It's only a 2% difference between the two. We go and look down at penetration. This thing also has the best penetration across the board. 255 millimeters depend on that standard AP. Is of course the M48 patent has a 250, which is the next runner up. Oh, and the AMX. We look at the rate of fire. This thing has 10 rounds per minute. Of course, the T62A has a higher rate of fire because it is a lower caliber 310 alpha with a 5.2 second reload. So that is the main difference between the two. The reason why it has a high the difference between those is if you look down the alpha, the Leopard one has a 350 alpha. Of course, the T62A has a 310. The next thing, if you notice, without the Progetto, because it's an auto reloader, the next highest reload speed is going to be the M48, the M48 patent at 655. So you can see the difference in where it excels. There's a good difference between the two reloads. Another thing to notice is this thing does have about average shell velocity. The Progetto has a slower one, and the T62A has a much higher shell velocity. That's just the way the Russians did it. We go ahead and scroll down to the aim time. As you can see, the Progetto has a better aim time, and the T62A has a much better aim time, as well as the STB. So it's not the best aim time, but you have a really, really good dispersion. So on the board it says 272, and then you got a 258 on the T62A. If we go ahead and switch it to this, and oh wait, I got this stuff on. My bad. So if we have the gun rammer on both of them, when we scroll down to the aim time, the dispersion, that is odd. It gives them both the same. This needs to be updated, because as you guys just saw, there was 244 in game. So I'm not too sure. But we won't focus on that. So next we roll down to the mobility. As we can go ahead and see, with the AMX and the Leopard do have the same top speed at 65 kilometers, and they have roughly the same. Or no, never mind. Where is it? The power to rate ratio is much better on the Leopard, primarily because the engine is actually the majority of this thing's weight. Does it say? I want to see. Does it say? Oh yeah. So it does. Now, if you go ahead and scroll down, I want you to notice. If you look at the weights, let me go ahead and zoom in, and we'll also get to the armor. If you look at the weight, 39.65. That rounds up to about 40 tons. You can see how heavy this thing is. The M48, of course, is much heavier, and it has way more armor to it. The Leopard 1 has no armor, and it is a heavy tank. As you can go ahead and see, when we look in the armor department, there is no armor on this thing at all. You got some armor on the sides of the turrets. On the front, and we will of course get into armor inspector after this, but there is a big gun mantlet which is all spaced armor, so you will get the occasional bounce on that. And you do have the 70 mils of armor on the front, so you can create some auto bounce zones, as well as the sides being 35. But again, if you look across the board, there is no armor on this thing, and it is pretty much all red. And let's get to armor inspector. Alrighty, here we are in Armor Inspector. As you can see, there is a lot of green. As I said, this thing is 40 tons and has no armor. And it's primarily because of the big engine in the back. So as you can see, that front plate, if you can get it with the 9 degrees of gun depression, you can create an auto bounce zone on that front. Or if you pull out like this, you can get those bounces off the front. Also, not to mention, you can get bounces if I can grab the gun. Grab the gun. Come on. There we go. You can get bounces on that side. Where the tracks are, of course, it's just going to go straight through, but because of the way this thing is angled, you will generate some bounces. So you could side scrape in a pinch, but you're not going to do too well. Another thing to note again, as I said, this thing does have a big gun mantlet. You're going to go through the gun mantlet, but you're not going to be able to go through the actual front of the turret, so you are going to bounce on that front. You, of course, can catch the occasional bounce on the track, and the sides of the turret as well, depending on how you're moving it. So, but of course, the main thing of this tank is the speed. It is all about speed. Oh yeah, and that is another thing to note, is the sides are spaced armor. You can see that if you were to come up, hit them at this angle, that is, of course, spaced armor, so you are able to generate those bounces. Another thing to note is this thing on the back right here, I can't really do it. That thing right there is literally just aesthetics, I guess. So that is another troll spot. I have people actually try to shoot that part to deal damage, but they just completely miss. So, and then of course the other thing is you can of course catch the occasional bounce on the gun as well. If you put your gun in the way of their gun, and they actually hit your gun, of course you are going to bounce. So you will damage the gun. Don't get me wrong, but you know when people are HEing you, you can catch it. So this is another thing to take notes. And let's get on to the 3 replays. Alrighty, here we are on Faust in the Leopard 1. So the 3 replays I have for you today are actually consecutive games. Like, I literally was like, you know what, I want to play my Leopard 1 today. So I get my Leopard 1, I had this game, then I had the next game, and then I had the game after that. All, like, they were literally consecutive, like, back to back to back. So you can see the results of this thing fairly easily. So we are on the northern spawn. We are going to run up to A cap, where we can get some spots. As you can see, this thing does take off. This is the fastest tank, with the exception of the Sheridan, Vickers Light, and the Bad Chat. This is the fastest medium tank in tier 10. First up on the hit list is the AMX. He didn't have the gun depression, so he wasn't able to get his gun down. And we do pull back, or we do get a shot on him and pull back. Like I said, the accuracy on this thing is amazing. So we are, of course, keeping him spotted for our team. We are going to pull forward again. I believe I missed this shot. Yeah, the gun is good unless you make it miss. But we are, of course, going to get very lucky in that shot and hit him in the giant cupola, or hatch, or whatever that thing is called. It's a big weakness. So we are going to pull forward again, and we are going to get one more shot in on the front of him. We do hit his tracks, take him out. So that gives me the chance to pull up and around. We are going to take one more shot from him, but we do get one more in on him, and we get a sick drift right there. Up next on our hit list is going to be the AMX 50B, who has been spotted and our E100 is dealing with. So of course with the APCR loader, we're going to go ahead and make our way in this direction. And yeah, you can see the mobility of this thing is really, really good. The engine itself, like this tank is perfect altogether, with the exception that it has no armor. If this thing had just a little bit more armor, I mean sure it would take away from the speed, but with the gun it's got, it would be OP if this thing had a little more armor. It would be like a better version of the T-62A. So of course we are going to drive right past both these tanks. We do take a shot, we track him, and continue to pull forward. Oh, another thing to note that I didn't mention is this thing does have a raised engine deck, so you cannot shoot off the back unless they are above you. So we are going to put a shot into the side of him. I unfortunately was a little late. I didn't get a chance to reset the cap, but we are going to track him in place, deal damage, and we are actually going to keep him permatracked. And boop! One more time before we start moving again. So he obviously cannot go anywhere, and that is the end of this first replay. Overall, this was a well-deserved second class. We did 3.2 thousand damage, it made 30,000 credits, without having any kills. This thing is a decent credit maker at tier 10, but it is a very hard tank to play. And, yeah, let's get on to the next replay. Here we are on Vineyards. We are on the south spawn, and we are, of course, going to do what you usually do in Supremacy and pull up to the B cap. This thing, of course, can't get up to speed, and on this side you can get up to speed and get up to the to this position up here fairly easily because of the little hill right here. This thing does have really good train resistance on all terrain. Of course, you will get better speed on hard ground or like concretes, but this thing is just as good on soft terrain like grass and snow and sand. So as you can go ahead and see, the 121B was spotted over there. We got someone at A cap. I do pull forward, try to see if we get any shots. Unfortunately, there are none. So we are going to pull back, looking for shots in that AMX over there, but we don't. E75 was spotted, so we are going to get a very quick snapshot into his side, and of course pull back. We are outside of spotting range, so we don't have to worry about being spotted. But I do go ahead and pull forward and try to see if we get a shot on the 121, but unfortunately miss. He misses me, I miss him. And pull back, I don't want to get shots. Again, there is no armor on this thing. And then the mouse was here. I'm like, oh no. But then I realized he's not looking at me. So I'm actually going to use this opportunity to start farming some damage since he's not focused on me. Get one shot into that lower plates. We are going to pull back because we don't want him to turn towards me. And we are going to pull forward again. Get another one in. Unfortunately, we only do track damage on this shot. And then I noticed the 121 is right there. So I'm going to go ahead and put one through his tracks. He bumps into the building. I'm going to pull around again and put one more in and then pull back. I do not recommend brawling in this tank. Like I said, there is no armor on this thing, and it is tall. So just about anything that comes your way, unless it misses or it hits any of the little weaknesses I showed, is going to go through. So we are behind this rock. I am a potential one-shot to this 121 if he high rolls, and definitely a one-shot to the mouse. So I'm going to use the mobility of the tank and pull around, of course, looking for shots on the Leopard, the enemy Leopard. And if you just noticed, the mouse was taken out, so that gives me a chance to pull around here. I do get very, very lucky, and was left on left on 37 HP. And I do put the kill shot into the 121. That, of course, gives me the chance to now cap the base, as the enemy are coming up, and they did have two. So I get a unlucky track shot into his side, but don't worry, I will redeem myself as I do get this shot right here for my second kill. Leopard 1 has been spotted moving over there. I do get a lucky shot right... Oh, never mind. I missed. Sorry. Didn't mean to fool y'all. But I am going to go ahead and pull forward, as I know that the Leopard 1 will be taken care of. So I'm going to actually focus my attention on this 704. Almost run over that little soccer ball right there, if you guys haven't ever noticed that. We are going to pull forward and try to get another shot. The accuracy on the move is really, really good. As I said, you literally just have to aim in their direction and shoot, and you're going to hit. That's just how good this thing is. You notice he did shoot, so I don't have to worry about it, so I am able to, of course, pull forward and get another shot onto him. To take him out for my third kill. So this was a second class. I was fairly surprised. I mean, I felt like I did a little bit better. But I ended on a 2.6 thousand damage, made 6,000 credits, and had the 3 kills. When we go over to the leaderboard, I realized that I was not top leaderboard for damage, which is, well, I mean, even with that, I made 1,200 base XP, so, again, I was very surprised at this. And like I said, I was not top leaderboard. Our Grill and T57 Heavy did really well. And let's get on to the last replay. Last but not least, we are on probably the worst map for this tank, Himmelsdorf. This is the worst map for the Leopard 1. It is all flat. There are no ridges. There's not very many good hiding spots. So you just have to take it as it comes. I'm thinking this when I get in this map. I look at the lineup. I'm thinking, yeah, this is not going to go too well because it's just me and this this and the E50M for medium tanks versus 3 TDs who are most likely going to push in this direction. Well, that's what I was saying at the beginning of this. So you do go ahead and pull forward, and I do get into the cap, and I was thinking about pulling around the corner, but again, you cannot, because like I said, there is no armor on this thing. This is not an easy tank to drive. Our SU 12254 is pulled forward, and then I noticed that the Batchat was then spotted right there, so I'm now going to go and start focusing. And then the grill was spotted. I noticed he wasn't looking at me, so I do go ahead and put one shot into his front, and I do pull around, get behind him before he has a chance to put one into me. I do switch over to the AG and put one right into his rear, and then he bumps into me. Let me go ahead and pause it right here. If you did not catch that, if you look, my gun was in the way of his gun. So my gun was sticking in his gun. So he shot, I think it was the Pramo, and because my gun was in the way, it hit my gun and bounced off my gun while it's still in his gun, instead of hitting the E50M. So, yeah, more gaming logic, am I right? So, I do go ahead and try to see if we get another kill shot. I do repair my broken gun and start pulling forward. And then the biggest scare of my life right here, the Foch was spotted. So I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. I do fortunately get around that corner. I was thinking about turning around, but then this Batchat put a shot into me, hit my ammo rack. That is another thing I forgot to say, the ammo rack is on the side of this tank, so you do have to worry about that. So you get a lovely 500 high max roll into the rear of the Batchat. You do pull back and another one into the side of his turret. Then he puts one shot into me. I switch to the AP just to guarantee the pen, and I do take him out for my first kill. We go ahead and pull forward. I do play it extremely risky as there are two TDs sitting right in front of me. I get very unlucky on that shot as my turret was damaged, and you see I don't have any repair kits left. So I do try to see if I get another shot on. I hit the dirt, but I get lucky. I don't get shot again. So I'm like, okay, there's no point in me trying to get another shot after this one bounced. So I'm like, okay, time to turn around. So you can see, like I said, the traverse on this thing is really, really decent. I'm going to go ahead and turn around as I don't look back. Look how lucky I get. I almost took one right in the ass from that Foch. So, I got very lucky. And then even again, he's coming around the corner. So, my luck on this run was very, very, very high. So the Foch, of course, is not looking at me. I do get an unlucky shot into his viewports. And then he's back inside his turn to me, so I do go and put one in. You can see the accuracy on this thing. It is amazing. All that's left now is this M103, who's all alone. I do get one into... Well, actually, I don't even know where that shot goes. But I do go ahead and pull around, and, yeah, I unfortunately do not get the kill. So, yeah, overall, this was a decent battle. I did 2.8 thousand damage, made 2,600 credits with the one kill. And this was a third class as well. So, yeah. Alrighty guys, if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and drop a like, hit the subscribe button, as well as the bell to be notified when I upload in the future. And if you want to send me any replays, please feel free to hit that link down in the description. That'll take you to my Discord server. You can of course speak to all the lovely people that are on there, as well as post any replays in the respective channel. I also got my Discord information down there if you want to send me a friend request and DM me replays. You can do that, as well as my email being down there. Of course, you can leave me a short description like how much damage you do, what tank it is, and what map, and we'll see if we get them onto the future. Up until this point, I am not too sure what the future is going to hold. I will, of course, have a few more replays. Again, I'm not sure when 7.5 is going to drop, so I don't want to do, like, unless I have, like, 3 consecutive games like I did today, I don't want to do a review and then have the the replays lost, so we'll see what's going to happen with the future. I do have a, I believe a Minecraft video in the time I'm recording this will be coming out tomorrow. So be looking out for that. And this one will obviously be the day after, so the Minecraft video would have gone up yesterday. So, yeah, you know, the confusing life of the YouTuber. And that about sums this video up. Yeah, until next time, we'll see you on the battlefield.